who do you think the starting quarterback for the 49ers is going to be this year, Jeremy?
Well, I think if Brock Purdy is healthy, like if he clears all the tests he needs to and can throw the ball the way he needs to, I do believe he'll be the starter. I will say this, and this has persisted for a while. When the 49ers signed Sam Darnold early in free agency, gave him decent money, and considering like people have always just sort of been enamored with him around the league, for better or worse, despite the struggles, there are a lot of people around the league that think that he'll play meaningful snaps for San Francisco this year based on why they signed him, when they signed him, just some of the ability and that he's a perfect fit for Kyle Shanahan's offense. That might actually bring out the best in him for once. And so I'm curious to see how that plays out. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure with them, too, because, like, Trey Lance, the issue really, it seemed to be accuracy in the limited time that he played, but they still really do not know what they have. Like, even when you talk to people over there, they're like, he just has not played enough football to evaluate him. And he is a hard worker, and, he does a lot of good things that we still liked when we drafted him 2 years ago. They're just in a tough spot with it. So it really, if any of those three guys played snaps, it wouldn't shock me, but I would put Purdy as the one if he's healthy. That seems to be the case over there. But, there's a feeling that Darnold could be out on the field at some point and playing for that team in meaningful snaps.
So I'm going to ask you a sports talk radio question, Jeremy Fowler. You got to answer it, is what I mean. Okay. So Darnold was signed as Purdy insurance or Lance insurance?
Ooh, I think both, probably.
No. You're not allowed.
I'll go Purdy insurance. I'll go Purdy insurance.
Purdy insurance at the time, just in case he couldn't be ready. Because that's the whole point with Lance. You mentioned, again, that some people there saying we don't even know what we have in him. You got to play him in order to find out what you have in him. That's why finally the Packers decided to go with Jordan Love. They had to see what they have in him despite who they had. And it's amazing that Mr. Irrelevant, which obviously we still refer to Brock Purdy being the last pick in a draft as being, is going to be the guy. And I don't blame them because if you got a guy on a 7th-round contract playing elite quarterback play, you got to go with that guy. So what happens to Lance if Purdy's healthy and they're like, we're going to go with him, and Darnold is somebody that they think is perfect for the system? Do they just go with Lance sitting there as the third guy because they needed somebody who was the third guy last year?
Ooh, it's tough to even imagine that because, you got a number 3 overall pick that you gave up 3 first-round picks for as your emergency quarterback in that case, which you can have now. If you got 3 guys on your active roster, new NFL rules say you can have an emergency third quarterback. And in this scenario, that would be Trey Lance. I keep going back to this. The most important catalyst in San Francisco is Kyle Shanahan, right? It's really his baby for the most part. And, just from what I heard when I asked about Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan, it's just Brock is in tune with Kyle. He does what Kyle wants. He runs the offense how he wants. Now, but he's got a ceiling, right? He doesn't have that huge arm and the big-time ability. Will Kyle tire of that eventually? I don't know. But they have so many weapons and a good offensive line and so many playmakers, it probably doesn't matter. But when Purdy's out there, you know what to expect, you know what he's going to do, and Kyle likes that. I mean, that's just my sense. And so because of that, I put him as QB1 when he's healthy. But that's a serious injury, so he's got some hurdles to clear here between now and, say, late August. And then you got Lance sitting there. I just don't sense there was a lot of trade movement. There wasn't any sort of significant offer where they could justify it. And so he's got 2 years left under his contract. They don't necessarily have to panic on it. They can wait. Maybe somebody makes a great offer. Maybe he plays in the preseason and does great, and then there's an offer in late October from a team whose quarterback got hurt at the trade deadline. There's a lot of potential opportunities they can brace for if they do want to move on. But talking to other teams, they think they'll probably move on eventually because there's no 5th-year option. They don't see San Francisco picking up that option for him. And so really you're looking at 2 more years under contract when you can try to get some value for him. But, yeah, it's a fascinating situation because I don't necessarily think he's done a bunch wrong where they're so down on him, but they just don't know what to expect, and Purdy's the better option right now.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.